So a fellow sends me a message, Choshviyit, very Choshviyit, sends me a message Azoi. He's starting a brand new business and he wants to know what's the din. You're giving a share on Hilchos business in Halacha. Let me hear what's the shaila. So he says Azoi, he's opening a company of vending machines. And he's going to be having vending machines in various places. And the shaila is Azoi. Inside these vending machines is Chometz. And they're in goyish areas, there's no chashash of Yidden eating them. But is he, a Yid, Choshvi Yitaka, allowed to go along and own the vending machines that have Chometz inside them and sell them basically on Pesach? Is that mutter, is that osa? Does he need to do a mechira? Does a mechira even work? I wanted to spend a few minutes discussing that, and also a very, very common shaila. I received the shaila many times over the years before Pesach. This is not discussing whether or not a person is allowed to open up his business and work on Chol Hamoed. I don't know. We'll have to discuss that a different time. Be'ez Hashem in a different share. But if a Yid owns a business, an office, a warehouse, whatever it may be, and he has goyish workers inside there, are they allowed to bring their sandwiches? Are they allowed to bring their crackers, their chometz, into my office, my warehouse, my business? Or is that a shaila on Pesach? Okay, very, very common shaila. People that own businesses, goyish workers, they bring their sandwiches. The guy was horrified. He calls me up, Pesach, on one of the first days of Chol Hamoed, whatever it was. Like, the guy's got chometz in my building. He's got chometz over here. I'm over in the Issa. When do I have to tell him to take it out? So we have to talk about it. So, chometz be'etzem is a big sugya. And I don't know if we're going to do justice in this shade to discuss all in Yonei Chometz that are negated to businesses, but specifically those shilas I want to get to. Maybe we'll even get to an Amazon shilah as well. So those are the basic shilas that I want to get to. We know, just as a Hagdama, that Chometz as avada osa min haTorah for the Yom Tov of Pesach. Not only can a person not own chometz, a person obviously cannot eat chometz, and a person cannot also derive hana, benefit, from chometz throughout the days of the Yom Tov of Pesach. Person that owns chometz is over on an Issa every moment of Pesach, and that's the reason why we do not only a bittul, we also do a bedika, which maybe we'll discuss before Yom Tov on a practical level, what we do and how we do it in our homes. But that's not for now. It's derived from two specific psukim. Okay, pasuk number 1 in Chometz, Perek Yud Gimel, pasuk Zayin, v'lo yira lecha chometz. Chometz should not be seen in your house, in your possession. Now the Gemara brings down from there this idea of la'ira lecha. Zuk the Gemara. What does it mean lecha? That means only chometz that belongs to a Yid cannot be in a Jew's possession, whereas chometz that belongs to a goy would be mutar. We have another pasuk. Shemois Yud Beis Yud Tes. Chometz should not be found in your houses, and Chazal and the Gemara derive from there that even if the chometz is not owned by a Jew, it's not owned by a Jew, it's still going to be asa because it's under the responsibility of a Yid on Pesach. So that is the basic, very basic halachas when it comes to owning and deriving hana from chometz. Okay, now obviously this could take us a month just to discuss chometz, but those are the basic ideas. Now, let's get to one of the shilas that we just mentioned a moment ago. I have a business, I have an office, and I have goyish workers. They come in the morning with their sandwiches. It's Pesach. I'm looking at the guy in the face eating his toast. He's eating his bread. He's enjoying the chometz. I'm looking at it. I can see it. It's in my office. What do I do in such a case over there? Now, no one's going to say that the Yid owns the chometz. This is goyish chometz. It belongs to a goy. It always will belong to a goy. So I never owned the chometz. There's no shaila in whatsoever that a Yid is not owning it. That's for sure. Not only that, I'm not even responsible for it. Right? Which are the two psukim that we just mentioned a moment ago in that case. So is it mutar or is it asa? The Shulchan Aruch paskins in Orach Chaim Siman Tov Mem Sif Gimel, says the Shulchan Aruch that if a goy comes into a Yiddish shtib, comes into a Jewishly owned house, office, whatever property of a Yid, the halacha is there's no problem if he has chometz in his hand. I have no problem if he has chometz. It belongs to him. It's not my responsibility. It's not owned by me. I'm not koiner it b'chlal, and therefore there's no problem whatsoever with a Jew that has a goyish worker in his home eating chometz in his house on Pesach. However, the Mishnah Berurah writes very starkly, Sikot and Yud Ches over there in Siman Tov Mem, that be careful. Tell the goy, make sure that the goy does not leave any crumbs over. He doesn't leave anything around. He cleans up after himself. He makes sure he doesn't leave any remnants. Nothing. No chometz is around, because obviously there's a chashash that a person may come to eat it. However, you should know that this is quite difficult. It's very difficult in an office to tell a goy to do that, which is why many offices have a policy on Pesach, if it's a Yiddish office, and there's Yidden working there, so many Jewish owners will have a policy saying it's Pesach, please do not bring bread, crackers, pretzels, whatever it may be, into the office during this time. It's our festival, it's our holiday, we don't do that. But again, you're not mechuyev to do that, but it's just the Mishnah Berurah's eitzah. If a person cannot tell the goy to get rid of everything, then that's what a person should do. But me'ika hadin, if a Jew has a goy walking in with a sandwich with pretzels on Pesach, as long as he cleans up after himself, me'ika hadin, that would be mutter. Let's move on to the shaila of the vending machine. And by the way, it's not only a vending machine shaila. I'll give you an example of a shaila that I was busy with a couple of years ago. The Olam knows the Heilige Shver. The Heilige Shver had the shaila like this. He had a whole bunch of whiskey that was on a boat. It was in transit. It was going from one place to another place. I don't know exactly what. And the shaila came Pesach. Now, he doesn't have it. Physically, he doesn't have the whiskey. It was going from place to place. But he wants to do a mechiras chometz. Can you do a mechiras chometz on something that's not in your possession? Similar shaila to what we're discussing, the vending machine. This choshve yid that wants to own the vending machines, he wants to have chometz inside the vending machine and put it in the middle of Manhattan, whatever it may be. That's not in his possession. So if it's not in his possession, is he allowed to do a mechiras chometz? Does the mechiras chometz even work if the chometz is not in my rishus? That's the shaila over here in that case. Okay, am I allowed to sell chometz that's not directly in my rishus in this case over there? Now, generally speaking, the poskim write clearly that a chometz that's eina b'rishusai, it's not in your jurisdiction, it's not in your rishus, it's not in your possession. Mechiras chometz cannot be done. You cannot sell chometz that's eina b'rishusai. That's why, for example, the Gemara brings an example. The Gemara says, what happens if an item was stolen from you? It still belongs to you, stolen, I want it back, it belongs to me. However, you cannot sell it, because it's eina b'rishusai, says the Gemara. So according to that svara of something that's stolen, that I cannot sell because it's not in my possession in that case, here I have the chometz that's being held by a third party for selling purposes, whatever it may be in that case. All right, I've hired a vending machine, I've hired whatever it is to go sort out the chometz, to take it somewhere else, to organize it, to sell it, whatever. It's not in my rishus. So none of my rishus. Do we say that at the end of the day it's held by a third party and therefore it's like it's being stolen and therefore I cannot sell it? Or do we say that no, maybe you can, because theoretically you'll be able to get it back? So the general halacha is that as long as the owner of the chometz can be able to recall the items, the products, from the fulfillment center, for example, then he's able to do a mechiras chometz. He can sell the chometz that's not in his rishus to a goy simply because he has the ability to call it back and say, I want it back. On a boat with this whole different shiloh, obviously. But upon him, once it's sold, and the customer who bought it didn't yet take possession of the item, meaning he bought it, but he hasn't taken it yet, it's still in the middle of transit, it's still in the middle of traveling, whatever it may be, then you cannot include that in the mechiras chometz in that case. That's what often the Tosfos and Baba Kama dafayin, that if it's already sold, even if the customer who bought it didn't yet take possession of the item, I can't include that in my mechiras chometz in that case. Why? Because it can no longer be recalled. I can't say give it back to me because it's already been bought. So these are very complicated shilas which need to be dealt with by someone that understands the halachas clearly. If it's Nageir, of course, as we always say, ask a local Orthodox rabbi. We're not going to go through every scenario and situation over here, but just to end off with our shilah, the vending machine, right? What, for example, if a person owns a business that sells chometz products, for example, on Amazon? So he owns chometz products and by the way, chometz does not necessarily only have to mean, bread and pretzels and everything else. You've got many things that have tarovis of chometz. You have things that have chometz mixed up inside it, which again, if it's roi lachilas kelev, could be a shaila. I mean, just example is whiskey. Whiskey is chometz gomer. There's no shaila whatsoever, right? People have these things. People trade whiskey a lot these days. So the question is, if I, for example, run a business that sells chometz items on Amazon, if I sell my chometz to a goy, can I continue to operate my business? I did a mechiras chometz. Avadam, it's all the sheets. I did a mechiras chometz. Am I allowed to continue my business on Amazon selling chometz, or do I have to remove the chometz items from the list during Pesach in that case? So generally speaking, the poskim very much discourage a person from doing a mechiras chometz and continuing to sell chometz, because it's basically as you're showing that the mechira that you did to the goy is a bit shvach. I'm selling it to the goy, but on the side, I'm actually selling it to customers as well. So who does it belong to? Does it belong to the goy? Does it belong to you? Who does it belong to? That's why the poskim don't really like a person selling chometz when he has done a mechiras chometz on those items over there. However, if it's, for example, the guys are familiar already with these terms, FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, which means that the sale, the whole process is automatically sorted out by Amazon, requires no action whatsoever from a Jewish business owner whatsoever, and it's not on the rishus, it's not on the premises of a yid. Therefore, there's a mokem to make. So when I discussed the shaila with the Gate Said Rav Zimmerman Shlita, so he told me the ma'aser like this, that the guy that owns the vending machine should do a mechiras chometz, and not only that, any proceeds of any chometz that happens during the duration of Pesach should go to the goy. Why? Like we said a moment ago. Because then the mechiras chometz that I did is a ebestik mechira. I sold my chometz to the goy. The goy owns the chometz. Therefore, if there's a sale on Pesach, then who does it belong to? The owner. Who's the owner? Not me. I did a mechiras chometz. The ebestik mechira. Beleim shalim. Memela belongs to the goy. In that case, he should get the proceeds of the sale. Okay, Rabbi Say, a lot of shilas, a lot more shilas. Bez Hashem, we should continue another time. Have a wonderful day.